Well, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, Daytona is upon us. We've got just a few days until we need to leave, and we've got so much stuff still to do. It's crazy. I don't know if I'm going to get it all done. I'm probably not going to get it all done, but we've at least got to get Goliath prepped and ready for the road. And before I do that, I want to go over our 2025 schedule. A lot of people have been leaving it in the comments and messages elsewhere. They want to know what our 2025 schedule is, and I have got it made. So let's go over that real quick. All right, so this week coming up, we have got February 28th to March 9th. We will be in Daytona Beach for Bike Week. Now, we're going to be located at the Daytona International Speedway, and we're typically just out front of the Advent Health Gate. So when you pull in off of International Speedway Boulevard, it'll be right there next to the Cracker Barrel. If you drive straight up towards the track, we will be the very last vendor on the left, which is actually the very beginning of the front row going down through the midway. It's an excellent location for us. So that's where we'll be February 28th to March 9th. All right, when Bike Week is finished, we actually have a number of weeks off. It's like 5 or 6 weeks before we have to be at the next rally. And that is where we will be going to the two different truck shows. Now, they are not listed on the schedule because they're not part of our rally circuit. These are just things that I enjoy doing, and I think some of you enjoy them as well. All right, and then after that little hiatus, from April 30th to May 4th, we will be in Panama City Beach, Florida for the Thunder Beach Motorcycle Rally. There will be set up at Frank Brown Park. After that, we head straight towards Myrtle Beach because from May 9th to May 18th is the Myrtle Beach Bike Week. Now, we are actually in Murrels Inlet. Across the street from the Beaver Bar, there is a car wash and trailer sales place. It's called Beach Trailer Sales and Inlet Car Wash. We are in that parking lot across from the Beaver Bar. All right, guys, and then we go to the Laconia Motorcycle Rally in Loudon, New Hampshire. Technically, we will be out at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and that is from June 14th to the 22nd. All right, and then we start heading west, and we are off to Deadwood, South Dakota, because July 6th through the 11th is the Deadwood three-wheeler rally. We will be at the Days of 76 rodeo grounds right there as you come into Deadwood. All right, then while we're out west, we get a little bit of a break before the Sturgis rally, which this year goes from August 1st to August 10th. We will be at the Black Hills Vendor Park in Rapid City, just outside of the Black Hills Harley-Davidson dealer. You got to drive right by us to get into the dealership. And then September 10th to the 14th, we will be in Ocean City, Maryland for the OC Bike Fest. And there we'll be located in the parking lot of the convention center. After that, we head back to the beautiful mountains over here for Smoky Mountain Bike Week in Maryville, Tennessee. That is from September 27th through October 4th. Now, I'm pretty sure we're going to be in that same mall parking lot that we were last year, the Foothills Mall parking lot right behind the Publix. That is yet to be determined, but I'm pretty sure they're going to do it in the same place. And then October 16th to the 19th, we are back in Daytona Beach at the Speedway again for Biketoberfest. Once again, same location. Generally, sometimes they shift us a little bit during Biketoberfest, but usually still right out front of that Advent Health Gate. If you found us in the spring, you'll find us in the fall. And as you know, that fall time is when we have to go. So as soon as we break down in Daytona on that Sunday, we have to haul butt back to Panama City Beach for the Fall Thunder Beach Rally. And there we will be set up once again at Frank Brown Park from October 22nd to the 25th. At that point, we hightail it all the way to Galveston, Texas for the Lone Star Rally, November 6th through the 9th. And we will be located right on Seawall Boulevard at the intersection of 23rd Street, just like we have been for the last decade almost. Now, in that hiatus between the Daytona Bike Week spring event and the Thunder Beach Rally in Panama City, we do have that few weeks, and that is when we're doing the truck shows, like I mentioned before. I will be at the Mid-America Trucking Show, March 27th through the 29th. Now, this is not an event that we work. I am there just because I enjoy trucks. I walk around, I film, I do interviews, usually for the other channel. It's just something I really enjoy doing. It's not a profitable thing for me by any means. In fact, it costs me money, but I enjoy doing it. And then just before we go to Panama City, we will head to Leesburg, Florida / Wildwood, Florida. So 2 events going on there. Once again, we don't work either one. We're just there for footage. We've got the 75 Chrome Shop Truck Show and the Leesburg Bike Fest, and I will be attending both, but not working either. The truck show at the 75 Chrome Shop is the 25th through the 27th of April. And of course, the Leesburg Bike Fest shares those same exact dates, 25th to the 27th. All right, so now that we've got that out of the way, I will post that full schedule in the link of all the descriptions throughout the rest of the year so that you can access that at any time. And at some point, we'll get in there and update the website as well, because if I'm not mistaken, we've still got the 2024 schedule listed there. With that said, there are some changes coming this year. Some of them not by my choice. As you guys know, the last couple of years, we have been doing tires while at the Sturgis Rally. And unfortunately, the Harley-Davidson dealership reached out to us last fall and said that we're not welcome to do tires there anymore. And that really sucks. And I hate to say it, but it's the customer's fault, because what happened was people were putting their motorcycles in line at the Harley dealer to get their service done, to get tires done. We don't have the outrageous labor rates that most Harley dealers do. So then when people were walking around, they walked by our tire shop. Mike would have a conversation with them, and he was able to put a front and rear tire combo on most Harleys for approximately $200 cheaper than the Harley dealer was doing it. Well, $200 is a pretty good savings. And what happened is that some people went back over to Harley dealership, pulled their bike out and said, no, these guys over here are doing it cheaper. Well, that pissed off Harley. So Harley said, I can't do it anymore. This is one of the fears I had of Harley-Davidson taking over that parking lot, is limiting what we can do because of their corporate greed. Now, with that said, they're still letting me do oil changes, which I'm pretty happy with that. And I hope that we can still build a good relationship with them. But it hurts us. It hurts us a lot. Now, at first, my plan was, well, I'll just find another place to put that spot. There's a lot of other places to vend, whether go out to Hill City, downtown Sturgis. There's already some competition in Sturgis. I don't think there's anybody out in Hill City. And there's even kickstands. It's a campground that's trying to build their vendor lot. So I had some options, and I was considering those. But the next hurdle then fell in my lap and screwed that up. And before we go into that, let's take a step back. My plan was this year to buy another trailer that we could take to the rallies. Most likely it was going to be a semi-trailer, and that big ugly yellow thing back there with a fresh paint job would be what hauled it around, and that was going to carry all the big heavyweight stuff like the tires and even like the drums of oil and everything. So I could take some of the load out of Goliath in this trailer, because we're pretty much at our max. But to do that, I've got to have a crew that can handle running a site. I've got to have somebody that can drive the vehicle out there. And we had a plan. And unfortunately, that plan is what got screwed up. So unfortunately, this season, we are not going to have Talon on the road with us. As much as I loved having my son on the road with us for almost the entire season last year, things were great. We had an awesome team. He's got some other things going on that he's got to focus on, and we're not going to get into that until he decides to talk about it. But I respect his decision, but it just saddened me a little bit because I really liked having him there. But also, he could have played an integral part of the plan because he does have a CDL. I trust him to drive. I trust him to do what he needs to do. And it would have worked out well had he continued with us this season. The other thing that screws us up is Mike. Mike was with us last year at Sturgis. He ran the tire setup for me, and he did a fantastic job. He also came and worked with us in Smoky Mountain Bike Week. And the plan was for him to actually run the tire rig this year at more rallies than just Sturgis, which is why I was going to buy the other trailer to put behind the Kenworth. And, well, he took a full-time job at the post office. So he's not available this season at all. So with those two people down, now it was to the point where I decided not to invest the money in the trailer, because there's no sense in spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to buy a trailer to just park it here next to the truck that I've already spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on. So Definitely some hiccups in the road, some setbacks, but we are still looking at bringing a couple of new products on the road this year. We may not have them all for Daytona. Once we get to Daytona and I figure out my setups, I bought some new displays, we're going to figure it all out. So there may be some new stuff on the road still, but not having the staff may possibly hinder our abilities. I've had a hard time staffing up for Daytona, and I think I'm still a man short. As expected, Chip is there for the season. Chip's been with me since 2018, and we work really, really well together, and I love having him. With the absence of Talon, I reached out to Alan. If you guys remember, Alan worked the tire shop with Mike last year in Sturgis, and he got along with us very, very well, so much so that he drove the U-Haul truck back here to North Carolina for us. He hung out with us for like a week. We had a really good time, and I offered him the job for the whole season. So it looks like Alan and Chip will be the full-time for the season. Now, for most shows, the two of them and myself will be able to handle the service department without a problem. However, Daytona and Sturgis are busy enough that we need the extra help. So I am still trying to staff somebody up for Sturgis. I've also got Gus coming for Daytona. So there'll be the three of them in Daytona. I'd really like a fourth guy. I got someone who can work 1 or 2 days, but not all of it. Still trying to figure that part out, and we've only got a couple days left. So with all of that said, we may not see the larger scale growth that I was planning on this year, but obviously, as far as our goals go, we are still going to try to increase our sales doing what we do, maybe by adding a few more products that we can handle the installations on and whatnot. And hopefully that all works out well. But now I've really got to focus on getting this rig ready to roll to Daytona. When I parked it here in November, I had plans to do a lot of upgrades and work to it before the season started, and I've got approximately 0 of them done. This truck has been so neglected this winter, and I hate to admit it, but the truth is the truth. Since we pulled in here coming home from Galveston in November, this truck has only been started once, and it's only been driven to the other side of the parking lot just to dump the waste tanks and winterize it, and then it got pulled back over here and parked again. So right now I've just got to focus on getting it ready for the road. Now, it was ready for the road when it pulled in here, so it's not like there's anything broken that has to be fixed, but there are things I wanted to do to it that just didn't get done. But for now, we're going to focus on giving it its yearly service. I don't know how much of that I am going to film. You guys have seen me do that before. In addition, we're going to do an oil change on it before the season starts. Can't do it today. The product has not arrived. Hopefully everything should be here tomorrow, and I can get that done before this week is out. We're going to check air pressures. We're going to check all the wheel bearings. We're going to adjust the brakes. We're going to grease the drive shaft. We're going to go through everything. And I'm going to put water in it and pressurize the system and make sure we didn't like burst any lines over the winter. Like I said, I did winterize it. I drained all the water, but we had some really, really cold temperatures. And what I don't want is to fill it up on Saturday when we're leaving on Sunday to just find out that now I've got to fix it. You guys remember that happened 2 years ago. The day before, the 2 nights before we were supposed to leave for Daytona, I realized that we had a broken pipe inside the shower wall that had to do like an emergency repair before we got on the road, because we would have not had any water at all. So I want to get a jump start on all that before it's last minute, as if this isn't last minute enough. We've got 5 days until we leave, right? Today's Tuesday. We leave Sunday evening. Yeah, so we don't have a lot of time. But like I said, it's not broke. It's just service stuff that needs to be done. Realistically, most of it can be done in a day, day and a half at my leisure. I've also got to unload some things out of the trailer that I decided last year we don't need to carry with us anymore, and put some things in there that we've purchased along the way. And then, you know, even backside in the office, we're still preparing our order to get sent to Daytona. I've got to order batteries. I think Katie ordered all the Wild Willie stuff yesterday. I got to load more inventory of love jugs. Got a lot going on in a very, very short time to do it. All right, and to complicate things, we have a winter storm coming in tonight, tomorrow. So Wednesday and Thursday, we're gonna have some pretty hard freezing temperatures. So I'm kind of reluctant to fill this thing back up with water and pressurize everything until that's done. I may fill it up and check to make sure nothing's broken now, but then it doesn't do any good if it breaks afterwards. Well guys, time definitely got away from me. It is about 8 o'clock now. It's plenty dark out, and I have just been here for like 8 hours after I recorded everything here this morning, and cleaning up the trailer, doing a few repairs, nothing major. I really didn't record it because I talked so much at the beginning. I didn't want to make the video too long, but I had situations where like some of the bolts coming through here that hold my walls up on were coming loose. A couple of them are actually sheared off. So I replaced all that stuff, fixed things. I went through all my flags and sorted out the ones that are ripped and torn and that couldn't be repaired. Made sure there were flag poles for all the ones that were good, put them someplace else, and then just started going through every cabinet, every box, and just getting rid of stuff that I don't need. So all of these boxes here on the floor, I don't need in here. They're going home. We'll go to the shop. This box up here, going to the shop. This box is actually staying. And then back here, I have got just a tailgate full of stuff. Like old batteries and, wow, let me switch camera. So just boxes of old parts and love jugs that are like broken or something. Tools that don't work, display stands, banners and flags that are shot, empty oil drums, like the back seat to my bike that I really don't need in here. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Didn't plan on being up here this late, but I've got the Excursion running now. I'm gonna back it up over here to tailgate, start loading all this stuff in, and then I'm probably gonna break out the battery powered leaf blower and just kind of blow everything out. And then I think we'll be pretty much ready to start loading stuff in that we need to bring, because obviously you see there's no motorcycles in here, and I've got a few tools that I've borrowed from the trailer to take over to the shop. I'll need to get all those brought back over here and put into the toolbox. But man, I'm guessing there's a couple 100 pounds worth of stuff that I'm taking out of here. So it'll make us a little bit lighter on the way to Daytona. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Just wanted to give you an update. As we really start doing the pre-trip on Goliath, I might video some of that. And just a few more days till we head to Daytona. So we'll see you guys then, if we don't see you in the video beforehand. So thanks for watching. And until the next time I see you, keep those engines running.